Hey everybody!
Hello everybody! Welcome back to the Happy Life Show!
Welcome to my beautiful Ahiranta.
And my gorgeous Ozay Rinpoche, yes.
The truth is you're nothing and you're everything, and that's the truth. And so that just as knowing it even intellectually can be liberating, but you won't remember it. But it's the realization, if you remember it as a realization, then you'll be free. And then people say something to you and you won't be that person.
And it sounds contradictory because when you know yourself, you know more than the other, but it's not meant as an egoistical knowing more.
No.
Because when you come to know yourself, you also understand how somebody else takes over. And what that brings is compassion, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when somebody truly wrongs you, which if you haven't done work on yourself, you can feel so deeply hurt. But when you know where that comes from, their behavior comes from, because when you know yourself, you know where their behavior comes from. And that generates compassion towards the other. That is something that I have found.
Yeah.
I've become much more softer towards others, and that is also to do with age, but age is experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's mostly...
But it's also, life is a kind of meditation, because meditation is you stuck you, and all meditation is a fast forward through life, through learning process. And the thing is, a lot of people don't realize is that life, the learning process through life, is non-attachment. And I mean, there's no person out there who can argue with me here, I don't think, unless if there is, please put it down below, because we'll have a debate about that. But there is no person who hasn't learned through, first of all, becoming attached, and then secondly, having it ripped away. And having it ripped away is where the pain comes. And we develop because of that pain. And so I'm grasping something and it's ripped away. And so as you get older, you've learned through experience, you may not be mentally aware that it's no good to hold on to that kind of person there, because that kind of person with that kind of character traits creates these kinds of problems for you, i.e. a thief or anything, a thief of your mind or a thief of your money and you're a thief of your possessions or whatever. And so that's something that you own. It's always something that you believe you own. You don't own nothing. When you get to that point just before your death, you have to release everything. And the whole of your life is teaching you that. And if you want to really live, then become non-attached. Of course, you have to appear attached in some situations, because it's what the world expects of you. But, like some great philosopher once said, life is a stage, and on that stage we're actors, and we read the script we have to read, and then we play our part, and then after the end of the show we go back home and we rest up again and before the next play.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, because we mentioned that in another talk, that after you reach enlightenment, you had to create a personality, but a persona, so that your mom could have her son.
Yeah.
The son that she always wished or expect, or but the difference is that you are aware of what you were doing, whereas before you reached enlightenment, you was a ball in the wind, I call it. You are swept off your feet by all kind of situations you find yourself in. You become lost in the situation. You're totally identified with what happens. You take something somebody else has completely serious, personal, which then hurt you, and by that your reaction will be colored. Yeah, it's very interesting. But some people might wonder, how do we stop the monkey mind?
Well, I was going on to it earlier on, and it's about the things you've got in your life as well, and all these time schedules. Take the time schedules out if you can. If you can't, then you have to develop a practice of living in the moment. Make sure you stick to your time schedule, but don't think about them. Only give yourself permission to think about them at the time they're supposed to be thought about. But if you're getting up in the morning and you're thinking throughout the day, how's this going to go? How's that going to go? How's this going to go? And then I got to do the child. I got to do the. I got to do that. I got to do this. Then of course that's
you burn a tremendous amount of energy already without even doing it.
Even before you get out of bed. And of course they say that in the morning we need an adrenaline kick or something.
Some people use coffee. Yeah, some people use coffee for that.
It stresses you up a bit.
Yeah.
You know, the first thing in the morning they say it's a natural process in your body to have a stress hormone release so that it gets you out of bed. Otherwise, if you didn't get that stress hormone in the morning, you wouldn't get out of bed, you'd stay there all day.
Do you think that comes from the hunter-gatherers period? That you had to go and find food, so you had to go and hunt?
Yeah, probably. And anyway, it's a natural thing in all of us to be like that, but it's about getting to understand. First of all, you understand it's there, and you give everything its rightful place. You get out of bed because you got stressed by a thought, and then but you analyse. You should be aware, and you should consider everything and plan your day out, of course. And then right, today I'm going to do it in sequence. I'm not going to allow the mind to become a what do you call it, grasshopper mind.
Yeah, and you being a slave to your mind.
What do you call it? Is it grasshopper mind?
Well, no, I don't
Something
know.
else. Some other mind, anyway. That
Monkey mind.
monkey mind.
Oh,
yeah,
monkey
grasshopper.
mind. Yes, sorry.
I used to watch Kung Fu, grasshopper.
Yeah.
And anyway, so you wake up and again use the power of self-hypnosis in these situations, and that is dictate with force, with stern attitude, and this is how my day is going to be. My mind is going to be like this through the day. At that time I do this, at that time I do that. Develop
and stay in the moment.
Yes,
stay in the moment.
But also you have to change over the changeover times during the day.
But we have devices now for us to just give us a little signal, time to do this, time to do that. We used to have white paper day, do you remember?
Oh yeah, that's a while back that was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that means is we get up and let the day take us, let the day unfold, and whatever turns up, and something always turned up.
Yeah, so because what we noticed, of course, as part of the practice, that you have a plan.
An agenda.
You have a plan. You would like, I don't know, let's say you want to go to the shop, and then something happens, and then you try to hold on that you wanted to go to the shop. But on the white paper day, we would just go with the flow. Anything that comes up, oh, okay, and it totally changed the day. That's what we would do. That's a white paper day. No plan, and just go with what turns up.
Yeah.
We would, and that's part of our practice as well.
Yeah. Because that teaches you to
let go as well.
Yeah.
Attachment to ideas.
Yeah, because it's like we often get our moods. Is again, this all relates to the what mind is it? Bloody
monkey mind.
Monkey mind. Yeah.
Yeah, that is Tamara's term. Yeah. That's why you don't know it. Yeah.
Anyway, it all relates.
How do you call it?
Well, I called it grasshopper because I used to watch Kung Fu.
Yeah, there you go. No, but how would you call a mind that's out of control? That's not under the control of the personality that goes with the brain.
How do I call it in my ordinary life? Do you want
to
call it true? A mind full of shit.
Yeah.
That's what I would normally say, but as we're on the air, I don't say the word shit because it's not allowed, and we have to be good.
Politically correct.
Politically correct, yeah. And so, it's... so we get up and we'd just let the day happen. And it teaches you to, if you make a plan, because...
How did you slow your mind down? How did you get out of that hurricane? Yes.
I grabbed hold of it. The first thing I'd done was I grabbed hold of the things that was hurting me the most, and there was a lot of hurt. And
you reasoned that out to 0 point.
I faced it. I didn't want to face it.
Because you always blamed other people.
Yeah, it was easier to push the blame over there than to take it myself.
Right.
That's why there's a breakdown.
So you analysed your contribution contribution to
the issue.
to the issues.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And,
yes.
you don't want to, you don't want to.
No, the ego doesn't like to be wrong.
That's why we all become liars, because we blame everyone else, It's your fault. We got in this argument. I never took you, whatever.
Yeah.
And so we get kind of like scared of taking the responsibility for our actions.
Because that is also something people often say is, you make me angry.
Yeah.
No,
you make yourself angry.
Yeah, that's also something. You cannot be made angry by somebody else. It's your reaction to the other, the judgment of what the other has done, that stirs your anger. So that's also
and
a point.
also a lack of self-control, because there are triggers, and because we are instinctive animals as well. And, instinctive means self-survival. So we see something being taken and we become reactive.
Yeah, do you remember...
Do you want to be a slave to that reaction, or do you want to control your instinctive reaction?
Yeah, but we remember as child to behave angry. Remember? It's because somebody said, doesn't that make you angry? And I thought, no. Oh, what is that? What is anger? What? And then, that's anger. Okay, so you try that out, because a child doesn't know what that is. And then you observe the reaction to your so-called anger behavior. And then, hey, I get my way if I do that. Wow, okay. So you put that tool, anger, in your toolbox. Become angry, and then you get your way. Yeah. And so it's learned behavior, isn't it?
It's about controlling the environment.
Yes.
Every person, every child, every baby born onto this planet, right from the very first beginning of sound, he's learning, or she's learning to control the environment. Now, if I cry in this way, does something happen? Yes, mummy comes running to me.
Food comes.
Perhaps mummy doesn't. And so, right from the start, the mother is teaching the child.
Or father.
Or the father, to be softly spoken. Or, if you wait for a child to really cry for his food, let's say, like that, or they make those noises, and so if you go to the child when it makes sweet noises and feeds it, then the child will learn to develop a soft attitude. But if you wait for the child
to scream,
because I've heard it said before, when they really scream, they'll be better hungry, and they eat as much as they'll drink all their bottle. So they become angry, I want my food. And what the parent doesn't realise, right at the start, at the base, the child is building a foundation, and it recognises that if I show temper, that I will get my own way in this world.
That is when it comes,
and from there on, it's building up from, it's all these positive, negative. If I do this happens. If I do that happens. And as children, we feel it all out, and that's how we become.
And there's many more of those things, because when I was a young mother, I don't know why, and again, I do know why. From former lives, I had certain things, wisdom, how to do certain things without ever being told. For example, I knew never to let Tamara cry before the bottle. I would always I was a stay-at-home mother, so it was easier for me maybe, but I would listen, and when I knew it was time for a feed, I would listen closely for the first stirring, and I had the bottle ready. Because I had to stop breastfeeding because of my breast didn't work in the right manner. It was so painful. But anyway, so I would have had that ready. I would never let her cry for her food. Another thing with little ones is to give a sweet child, as they label them, a child is contently playing, you just don't give it any attention. But what happens then when a child is behaving in a way that you don't wish it to behave? Then you give it all of a sudden attention. So what happens? The child learns that if I'm naughty, mama will react or papa will react. Instead of, if a child is playing, to give it attention then. You don't need to praise it because the child doesn't know that difference between being good or bad. So, but you could.
But it's learning.
You can stir.
It's learning to control.
Yeah, put your hand over the head, or sit with them, or play for a minute. Or there's many. You have to feel it out yourself how you want to interact with the child when it's behaving in a manner that is positive within society, because that's what it's all about. We try to make our child fit into a society, and by that we try to change it because we think it will have a better survival chance. But not many people think deeply about this.
Here's a point I'd like to make, and I think this is really important and for the future of your children. And I'm lucky enough to have been made aware of these things at a very earlier time in my life, and that is the importance of no. The importance of no. You think that two-letter word don't mean nothing, and it's just a word. The importance of no to a child, it will go a long way, and it'll make big implications towards the future of the child. And for instance, if you say no to a child, and you allow the child to argue with you, to eventually break you down, and to get what it wants. Okay, so what you've done is, first of all, you've created a barrier for the child, then you allowed the child to break the barrier down, and then you've rewarded the child, which is a pleasant feeling.
For breaking down the barrier.
Okay, pleasant feeling. Stick with that sentence, a pleasant feeling. So you say no, and it works on you, and then pleasant feeling at the end of it. So you're teaching it. You're teaching it that no doesn't mean no, it can mean something completely different. And therefore, within the psychology of the child, okay, we all know that taking drugs, too much alcohol, for instance, and don't argue with this. I've seen this. I'm 66 years old soon, and I've witnessed this now for 3 generations, that when they get older and they want to be stimulated all the time. And so we know drugs and alcohol is bad, but that's no, you shouldn't have that. No, don't have that. But they say, I'm going to argue with that because I could argue with my people. They don't say that, but you've trained them psychologically.
They don't know they're doing it. Yeah.
To go against what's good. And sometimes what's good is a no. Don't go into that. It's bad. And so they go into the drugs. They go into the alcohol. They become pleasure seekers in a serious way. All of us are pleasure seekers, but there's some who's more into it than others, and they become addicted to, we call them addicted personality types, but in my understanding, there's no such thing as there's no such thing as you as not addicted personality type, and you are. We all are, but it's just that some addicted personality types, they take on something that's bad health for the body. And you as a parent, you really need to understand no means no. No question after that.
Yeah, don't say no if you don't follow through. Yeah.
If the child even questions you, come down on the child hard, because you're putting something that's going to carry. If by doing so, I know people don't like being horrible. They want to win brownie points for their children more than the father, or more than the auntie, or more than whoever. And don't try to win brownie points with your children,
you're not
because
there
they will
to be
use
their
it
friend.
against you.
Yeah.
And they will go to the other person who will give in or whatever.
Yeah, but you're not. That is what I see a lot, that they try to be the friends of the children. You're not a friend of your child. You're the parent. That's your role.
Yeah, and the teacher.
And it is, to me, parents who try to buy their children with presents or sweets, for me, is that child abuse.
It is.
They all talk about don't slap your children, and I am not in favor of physical punishment, because if you teach your child proper from the start, there is no need to smack any child. None. If you have a child that's out of control, And that creates the monkey mind, because we are still on subject. What you put in your child on an early age will come out when they are an adult, and that will create that monkey mind. And for some people, they have a tremendous problem with their mind. You have to do it right from the start.
Yeah.
And strangely enough, there are no schools for future parents. So anyway, it is really important. If you say no, even if you're wrong, you can always later talk to your child. I was wrong then. I did that differently. I could have done that there, so and so. And the child learns that, because my dad only slapped me once. And that is in the 70s, in which physical punishment was totally acceptable. He slapped me once, and it was unjust in a way, not totally, because my dad did not accept any talking back, and he told me something and I said yes, but whereas he demanded just to do what I was. But later on he came to my bedroom. I was I don't know, maybe 12 or something, and he said, I have heard what happened, and I'm sorry, I had that wrong, but the slap you got was for talking back. And so I respected him, not for the slap, because I disliked that very much, and it was so imprinted in my brain that I just remember it still. But that he could come and talk to me and said, well, this and this and this, and that has influenced me for the rest of my life. That you're not a dictator on your child, and you're not the boss over your child in a way that you control them and that you have the right to do whatever you want with them. No, you are the guide through life. Yeah, you're the guide through their life. And if you pump them full with sweets and sugary drinks and give them brownies instead of a proper meal, or you feed them McDonald's food, which in my humble opinion should never be sold, for me, that is child abuse. You don't give your child the best start in life, and that all influences the child's mind later on with the monkey mind.
That is the line I was on, from allowing a child to choose his own food. The child will choose what's sweet, what's absolutely no good for the child at all.
And that's a survival again, sugar.
Not teaching the child that is bad food, that's abuse. Because that will lead on to diabetes, suffering, and all the rest of it. And life teaches us as well, nature, in all animal kingdoms, in all species, and every animal is taught that if I go the wrong way, there's going to be pain. So that's where the instincts were put there, so that we are protected from taking the wrong choice. If our parents, us as parents, should know better, and we tell the child not to go that way, and no means no, and that's the end of it. No argument, because even a slightest argument will mean in the future that they will have conflict about making the right choice, and that'll be the right choice of a woman, the right choice of a husband, the right choice of friends, the wrong choice or whatever. And that's what the parents have put in there. They don't realise that they're doing bad. That you're giving that child his own choice of his own food. Sweets, mummy. Cakes, mummy. For dinner, mummy. And so that's just not it, is it?
No.
That's not what we want. If you really love your children, you will see the implications of what you're doing in the present. And the long-term
just think
effect.
it through, give it some thought, and don't come up with any excuses because I have no time to cook, or I have no time for this and time for that. So when we come back to the monkey mind, how you dealt with it was reasoning out, observing first of all what you were thinking, where did it come from, why is it there, what did it bring me. And then it dissolved on its own accord. So you reasoned out your thoughts without any judgment, because like you said, it was difficult to accept your part in that. Because
it's a breakdown, it is.
Yes.
And you have to be honest, like I said.
I did that the same. You taught me to do that as well.
It's a breakdown.
And also I have some little things I offer our children and say, when they're worried about something all the time, I said, okay, what can you do to solve it? Eh? Instead of looking at a problem, what can you do to solve it? Can you change that other person who's treating you bad? No. Okay, so what can you do? Well, be no longer with them or spend less time with that person. Is that possible? No. I have to deal with them because I work with them. Right, then let it go. If you can't control something, if you can't change something, let it go. Realize that and let it go. You can't change that person, you can't change the situation, but you can change what you do, and that is letting go. So then that thought will come less pronounced in your whirlwind, in your monkey mind. So letting go was one of the things that I also learned to reason to the point that letting go happened, because I always come from the point I can't let go. Let go is the result of coming to the 0 point of reasoning. Right, I can't change anything about that.
No.
So.
And again, going back to the beginning of this and about monkey mind, and to keep away from monkey mind, well, just before the day starts, you can do it just as you wake up in bed, and you can speak to yourself. You're in a kind of hypnagogic state, and that's a good position to invoke energy through the day, where you speak to yourself and you say, today, speak slowly. Like I say, in meditation, the power of invocation comes from the transmittance of the energy that comes from your thoughts and your feelings, if you feel and think. And so you say, today is going to be a good day, and no matter what issues or problems comes through this day, I'm going to meet it at peace, wisdom and understanding. I'm going to be free from any negative energy. I'm going to be good, I'm going to be happy, my life is blissful, not going to be blissful, it is blissful from this moment on. And it's a lot of people think prayer is just for religious freaks. Actually, those religious freaks that used prayer a long time ago knew what they were actually doing. And they would invoke the Father or the Son or the Holy Spirit, or they would invoke something. And so long as you invoke something you choose to have faith or belief in, and I'm very sensitive about that word belief, because it's also a bad thing as well in some respects. But if you invoke an energy into an entity, it'll develop. And that entity can be your God, it can be your angel, your guardian angel, or anything you choose. It's you who's going to create it. Like an artist who creates a clay model, you can create your guardian. And you say, today, because you're the one with the power, today my guardian angel is going to help me through every situation. And every situation is going to come to the betterment. Even my monkey mind will become at peace with itself, because I'm at peace with myself from this moment on for the rest of my life. And that's it.
Yeah, that's right. Meditation, it can accomplish so much. There's so many methods and tools.
Yeah,
teaching our children young to meditate, that is what we wish for, that they would use meditation at schools. I went to a Catholic school. We used to start the day with prayer and end the day with prayer. But for the I don't consider myself a Catholic. I don't consider myself anything really. But I wish that meditation would be used more at schools with children. And it's slowly, I hear some signs that some do. Because I think it's a positive force.
It's a door that, for some reason, it's the most profitable place to be. The most profitable place to be in your life, what we speak about. And what most of humanity is doing is developing this ego, this mind, this personality. And all that energy is being wasted on a fire that's never quenched.
Yeah.
And if you go inward and develop your inner world, then it's just a beautiful place to be.
Yeah.
The planet is beautiful.
Once you have seen it, it's like walking into a beautiful oasis. Once you have experienced what meditation does inside, you will understand. And until then, it's just an intellectual concept.
Invocation, prayer, meditation, these are all methods you can use. Walking, maybe we'll make a meditation about a walking meditation. And talking meditation.
Yeah, just be aware in everything you do. As soon as you become aware in what you are doing, it becomes a meditative.
Yeah, self-aware, that's right.
Yeah.
Present.
Yeah.
It's about being present.
Be present in what you do.
So, like aware is what? Is present. It's being sure, right here, right now.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we get a bit lost in the concepts, but a lot of the concepts in spiritual field means the same thing. And it's not surprising, though, it's ironic really, but when you become enlightened, that everything becomes one. Like you go into a big black hole or a white hole or whatever, and all the organics and everything become broken up and they all become one thing, one mass of light. And that's how we are when we go inside. And all those things you realise you put there are all part of the same light. And it's how we are, who we are. It's our essence, nature. It's creating everything.
Yeah.
All the problems, all the happinesses. And we are the artist that begins the day with a blank board, or it can be half finished from the day before, the weeks before. And it's us who's putting the brush strokes to it. Well, what we can do if we want to, we can leave it white, or we can paint something beautiful on it. It's us, we are the creators, no one else.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's end it here, Tamara. Keep practicing. Don't be disheartened when the monkey mind jumps on your shoulder again. Just keep going, and all other people who have started taking up meditation, please keep going. You do yourself a really great service.
Yeah.
And for those who haven't subscribed, can I please ask you to subscribe, hit the bell. Doesn't cost anything, brings a lot.
Ding dong.
Okay, until next time, see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.